Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. My name's Darren, and we're back for yet another week to discuss everything football Gold Coast. I have two guests with me from football Gold Coast. We've got Mark Madge. G'day, Mark.
Hey, Darren. How you going?
Good. Nice to have you back after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm back.
And we've also got Kirk Bredner, who's with us for we were just discussing before, only the second time this season, Kirk.
Yeah, mate, I'm back with a vengeance. I've been hiding. So I thought I'd better come out and give you some Surfers news.
Good stuff. And you're in a sushi bar at the moment.
Yeah, mate. I've having my lunch.
Lovely. Looks good.
It's nice and I wouldn't say warm in. It's warm in here, but it's also not windy out there. It's blowing a gale. So yeah, I'm usually 90 stories up. Today I'm actually down low.
Good stuff. All right, before we get into everything that's going on, let's talk about how good Surfers Paradise Apollo have been going this year. You're top of the table. You had a great cup run. Things are going gangbusters for you.
Yeah, we've carried on from last year. Obviously, with our cup run, I'll touch on that first. You know, they unfortunately come to an end against the Wanderers a couple of weeks back, but we got round to the round 6. You know, we started off, finished a few cup teams and then Progression Premier League teams, and then we done a few the MPL, QPL sides, and then we faced another MPL side in the Wanderers, Sunshine Coast Wanderers, that is. And yeah, we were unlucky. Took an extra time. Gave them our best, but unfortunately, the best wasn't good enough on the day. They probably deserved the win in extra time, so full credit to them. But yeah, I thought we were very pleased with our lads, very pleased with the effort from everyone. We took a decent crowd up on a bus, so yeah, it was a good day out. And unfortunately, didn't have the chocolates. And then we'll look forward to playing against the Knights. It would have been in a Gold Coast derby, but we're still there on the same day. We're playing Palm Beach as the curtain raiser before that one, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, so that was that. The league, obviously, we're still undefeated in the league, topped by 3 points with a game in hand against Broadbeach. Flying in that at the moment. You know, we had a nice 10-0 win on the weekend, 9-0, on the weekend against Musgrave. Unfortunately, the week before that, we played in the President's Cup, which is sort of like a league cup for those that know on the coast. It's first, second. We got pipped by the Post in penalty shootout, so that's a bit of a lottery. We put a decent squad out. We had a few players that probably needed a rest after our long run with the cup and the league, so we gave some of our experienced lads, Mr. Burns and such, a bit of a rest. So we gave our other squad members a shot and, you know, took a quality meringue side to penalties. And unfortunately, yeah, we didn't get the chocolates there either. So 2 losses there, but then, yeah, bounced back on the weekend. So we're back to the nitty-gritty where we want to be. Kingscliff away this weekend, which on Friday night down there. So can we do it on a cold night in Kingscliff? That's the thing, I suppose. But yeah, no, we're flying, but we're also enjoying ourselves at the same time.
Yeah, and you had a pretty convincing 9-0 win over Musgrave last weekend.
To be honest, I actually thought Musgrave, and this might sound harsh to them, but we played him in the first round, in the first lot around the first game of the season, 10-0, you know, it was 4 or 5-0 by half time, even after 20 minutes, to be fair. But they've been picking up results, and I thought they'd come out and give us a real game, but it was basically take 2, I think, on the first round. It was 5-0 by half time. The boys were just peppering their goal left, right, and centre. So, you know, it was sort of good to get back on the bandwagon on our wins. You know, we're all back to full strength, give the guys a hit out, you know. But yeah, Musgrave surprised me. So it's not only having a go at Musgrave. It just I thought there would be a bit more of a challenge, and unfortunately it wasn't for that from their point of view. But good for us, 9 goals. Hayden Sumner on fire. You know, he got 3. He's back after his hamstring injury. That's our left or right winger, whatever he wants to play that day. But yeah, we're back onto it.
Mark, I might throw to you now. Well, I'll just run through the other results from the weekend, and you can sort of pick the bits out of there. So Palm Beach had a 2-1 win over Kingscliff. Southport 3-0 over Runaway Bay. Broadbeach United 5-1 over Rabina. We, of course, had Nathan Mulhern on the show last week. And Nerang a 3-2 victory over Burleigh Heads.
Oh, yeah, we'll start with Palm Beach and Kingscliff, I guess. That's the first, that was a Friday night game. So Palm Beach getting their 4th straight win. equal points, equal goal difference with Broadbeach now. Broadbeach still having that game in hand, but Palm Beach just kicked into gear at the right time. So I think they're going to be definitely a hard team to beat. Moving forward, Kingscliff, again, injuries and, lack of cutting edge in key moments. I actually had a discussion with Ross Fennick during the week that, 3 weeks ago, they were a couple minutes away and a one-on-one away for winning that game against Southport. Turned up losing that game and could well end up being 8th at the end of this round if results, don't go the way they would hope. That was a team that could have been equal third at the halfway point if though that swing had happened. So, it's tough times for them. They've picked up only 1 point in the last out of 15. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, and it doesn't get any harder, I guess, than this week for them. But, credit to Palm Beach. They came out, routine performance. 2-1, probably closer than it seems. I mean, I don't think Kingston really had a shot on goal. The goal that they did get was their own goal from Palm Beach. So, again, it's still a tough game for them. Nerang Burleigh, that was the late kickoff. Tough game between two teams. Nerang keep rolling on, keep edging these results that they've been doing all year, just getting the job done enough. They led the game, they trailed the game, and then, getting the end result and 3 points is what I guess most teams are out there to do. However it comes, and that's that's the way it probably should be for a lot of them. And credit to them, backing up their President's Cup performance with a win there against Burleigh, who I thought actually played really well. Even though they lost the game, I actually thought they played much better than they did against Robina when they drew, and probably one of the best performances of the year despite the loss. Southport versus Runaway Bay, 3-0 there on Sunday. Again, Bay's doing a good job, playing to what their strengths would be, and frustrating teams. And they did that for large portions of the game. But again, I'm going to talk about it more on my podcast, and I know Kirk might disagree, and a lot of people will disagree with me already, but I believe Southport had the best attacking duo as a combination with Morgan Saunders and Ferdy. They scored all 3 goals. They've scored 23 out of the club's 27 goals in the Premier League. So, as a combination, do I think that they're the best attacking players? No, I won't. They're not the best attacking players in the league, but as a combination, I don't think there's any other combo that works as well and as unselfishly as those two. So I think,
that's a big call, Mark. What about Bruno and Teddy's unselfishness?
No, I've had this discussion, and I think, and I've said it, and I'm saying it open, and I'll publicise my thoughts. I think there's a lot of personal accolades being chased by players. The passing is not always where it should be. Not that they should be passing it, but
I agree on that. Definitely agree on that.
I just think that there are times that when you're up, 7-8, people start going, I'm going to grab my bag here, when really that 9-0 could have been, without exaggeration, 15.
Yeah.
And it could have been like that every other game that they've had with thrashing. So for me, that's why I put that duo down. I hope that ignites the fire in some people. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. But again, Southport doing the job done. The key for them will be, can those two score against the big teams? Against fellow opposition teams, Southport haven't scored a goal. So that's a point of concern, that they haven't been able to score against the top 4 teams. Their next 4 weeks are going to be crucial for them when they play all the top 4 teams. So we'll wait and see on that aspect. And then Broadbeach Robina, I actually thought that, considering Broadbeach hadn't played for a few weeks, that maybe Robina could make it hard for them like they did against Burleigh. And it seemed like there was a period there in the middle of the match where it was there or thereabouts. I think a lot went against Robina when it comes to players' availability. So I think they had last-minute people pull out and whatever else. But again, 5-1 is no reason for that result. And Broadbeach continue to get points and continue to put themselves in positions to rival the top 4. Well, they are one of the top 4 teams at this point in time.
Mark Madge dropping bombs on the Gold Coast.
I like to prod a little bit. And I honestly believe that, seriously. I look at stats.
He doesn't like us, Mark. He doesn't like surfers. Never at any games, don't know what the go is, you know. No, I must admit, I'll give you credit there. The two boys at Southport are class, you know. Stevie might want to have some more guys chipping in for goals because if anything happens, you know, where sort of you get that midfielder come through, you might help him. But yeah, I mean, top five, interesting top five coming up, starting to shape up like that, isn't it? You know, that fifth spot's going to be very interesting.
Yep.
So yes, we've got Surfers Paradise on 25 points, Nerang 22, Southport 20, Broadbeach and Palmy on 16. Of course, Broadbeach and Surfers Paradise have to play each other in a make-up game. When is that make-up game, guys? Do you know?
25th of June? 20th of June? 20th?
Not too far away.
No, a couple of weeks.
Good stuff. All right, let's have a look at round 11 this weekend. We've already touched on Kingscliff and Surfers Paradise. I might just throw this to you, Mark. A Kingscliff after such a great start there. It's the rigours of playing quality opposition every week, isn't it? It's coming back to really test their resolve.
It's, you know, people say scoreboard pressure, but it's table pressure as well. Like I said, if they get some results go their way, you know, we always talk about if this happened, if that happened, but there's certain things that they have just lost concentration in 45 minutes of football, haven't been able to put the ball in the net when any other day, at least one or two of those chances go in with the bulk of how much they had. So look, for them, I think you look at this Surface game as a freebie, go do whatever you can try to do. If you can get a point, great. If you can get 3, top of the world. But really their back half of the season starts after this week for me. You've got to look at those next remaining 7 games and go, we can pick up 21 points because I believe they can pick up 21 points out of those games if they're on. You know, Surface are no easy task. One, the success that teams have had against Surface, you know, if you want to call it success, is Southport sitting in, and even then they were lucky that Surface didn't have their scoring boots on. So how do you go up and face a team like that that's got so many threats? You just have to try and negate certain strengths and hope that the others and hope that other areas don't fire. But at this current point in time, they've gone 25 games undefeated in league action, which I would like someone to prove me wrong and find me a team that's had better outcome than that. Just looking at teams that have recently won the leagues, a lot of them never even went on to win the grand finals. So now that Surface are on this run, how they, you know, it's. I think on a cold Friday night, they'll still be able to get the job done and progress through. And, you know, it will just come up. For Kingscliff, it'll just be all about, you know, seeing what they can do, throwing everything at it, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. But I wouldn't be taking too much out of this game if I was Kingscliff and dwelling on it too much.
Yeah. Some really interesting fixtures this weekend. Burleigh Heads and Runaway Bay and Musgrave up against Rabina. 2 tight encounters there. The teams that are, you know, sort of both all in the bottom half of the ladder. Any chance of some upsets there, guys?
Rabina's due, aren't they? Is it who's Rabina Musgrave? Is it?
That's right.
I think Rabina can
usually when you lose one, you lose 2. That's always I say. You lose one, you lose 2. So Musgrave could be interesting one there with Rabina, getting some more points.
I think Rabina can definitely get 3 points here. One, they welcome 2 players back from suspension who missed the last game in Nathan Kelsey and Mitch Kelly, who are both key parts for that team, especially Nathan Kelsey coming in at centre-back. Look, Musgrave are definitely favourites in the game, but look, to be honest, from what I've seen in games, teams that come up against Surface the week before literally just go out there with a free mind and let's just go for it. Whatever happens, happens. I think a lot of the Musgrave people and players maybe thought, it was 9 this time, it wasn't 10. So that mentality can sometimes, you know, be positive because you just go out for 90 minutes and just get the job done and come back and refocus. Or it can have the opposite effect and you can still stay in that lull and not get out of gear against the team that you're expected to win. So I think Rabina can definitely win. I think Burleigh will have too much for Runaway Bay. But again, Bay have done very well against the top teams to hold them out for as long as period, frustrate them. So considering that Burleigh had that slip, if you want to call it, against Rabina and again last week, different challenge against Bay, but I think at home they should be able to get the win still.
Who's Palm Beach got? Palm Beach, is that Palm Beach Southport?
We're coming to that now. The other two fixtures are top 5 encounters. So Nerang are hosting Broadbeach and Southport up against Palm Beach. I'll let you go first on that, Kirk.
Yeah, no, I think Southport Palm Beach is a massive game. I mean, Palm Beach is they're coming good at the right time. You know, they've sort of had a slow start. Obviously, the 3 points deduction probably wasn't ideal for them, and they didn't like that. And Brett sort of got them going now. So I think, you know, and Southport need the points too to stay up in that top sort of 3 scenario, the top 2. So, yeah, I think that's a real interesting one. And then it's a Broad in Nerang, is it? Is that what you said?
That's right.
Okay, the old Screaming Eagles versus Broadbeach, eh? So that's an interesting one. Again, Nerang looking really good. So against there's only 3-4 old boys left from that team that are at Nerang now, so including Lee. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they get out of that game. Hopefully Broadbeach get up.
What do you make of it, Mark?
Look, Nerang Broadbeach will be a tough contest. I think, as I said, Nerang haven't really gone on and smashed the team. The most convincing performance Nerang for me has had is against Southport, funny enough, away. I think that was their most convincing win, as in dominated play for the full 90 minutes. Other than that, they've, even Runaway Bay, they took them to the 88th minute, and so forth. So for me, Broadbeach can definitely get something out of this game, and it's crucial for Broadbeach. Look, it's crucial for Nerang. If Nerang don't win this game, it'll be very, very, very difficult to try and contest for the title. But I still think that we're trying for a top 4. When it comes to Broadbeach, this is the game that they need, because you don't want to be trailing in the top 4 with game in hand, even against Surface. You don't want to bank on points there. Again, their away run is going to be the part that's going to hurt them, I think, in the long run, because of that whole second round being away. Again, I think the Nerang are favourites. Momentum keeps rolling on. They keep getting massive performances from players that you would expect them to get, which comes at the right time. So, again, I think the Nerang are favourites in that one. Palm Beach Southport is really a flip of coin, because they are that tight. I don't think Southport will play as badly as they did at Palm Beach in the first game, but Palm are in fine form and they're flying right now. I wouldn't want to face Palm Beach in semi-finals for a home and away leg at this current form. So I think a lot of the top teams prefer to see them in the 3rd spot, maybe. But for the neutral, we'd love to see Surface versus Palm Beach in 2 legs. But again, it will all come down to, and there's no hiding, can Morgan and 30 keep scoring and keep them in games. Now, if you put too much attention on them, maybe the other players will step up and score some goals. Hasn't been the case so far this year, so highly unlikely. But again, Palm Beach seem to have found that cohesiveness that they did last year. And it's a night game, so it will suit them. They play much better at night. But again, I'd flip the coin.
It's a very interesting time the next 3 weeks.
Crucial for everyone.
If Palm Beach and Southport get a draw, say, a point each, or Palm Beach don't get a point or anything against Southport, they play us the following week. Fingers crossed we get the results. 6 points behind us. Same with Southport. We've got Southport the following week. So the next 3 weeks are crucial for those clubs.
Huge.
So, yeah.
Massive bearing on the semi-final places. All right.
It will also have a bearing as well for those teams chasing that 4th spot, because you mount a 2-3 game win streak, you're right back in it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
all right. Let's turn our attentions to the Coast League. Mark, last time we had you on the show, you went on a little bit of a rant about legends and how no one was stepping up to beat them. Since then, everyone's stepped up to beat them.
No. It's
old legs. Old legs finally coming.
Some black magic that I've conjured against the poor legends, because they've just, they've just, it's caught up to them, I guess. Look, the Tweed result wasn't a surprise for me at Tweed because Tweed have a good side. You've got the likes of Michael Kolovos, Alex Selwell that can score goals up front. So that one, I could see that one. The Pac Pines result threw me completely because Pac Pines have been hot and cold. But to get a big win there has now basically put Talabudra in the perfect position with one of the best strikers still on the Gold Coast, Matt Hilton, firing away to win that league title. Will there be promotion, relegation? Above my pay grade, that decision. And people who are better equipped to make these decisions up the chain could have determined that. And that's not even a Football Gold Coast directive, but with the reshuffle of leagues. But regardless, for Talabudra to be there or thereabouts shows the body of work that they've put in and the experience that experienced players who are there or thereabouts towards the end, not as far as legends, but entering their last big hurrah, have come through, and credit to them. But Coast League is now, you look at the league, it's all over the place. Still, there's top fours. Every single week, there's more work for me to do. All these teams play musical chairs and keep shuffling up and down the table. So it's good to see. Good to see a strong Coast League. It's what everyone wants. But again, I think it'll be a very competitive 10 or 12 team QPL 4.
Just quickly running through last week's results. Pac Pines 3-2 over Legends. Mudgebar 3-0 over Tambourine Mountain. Musgrave 2-1 over Ormo. Talabudra 6-0 over Palm Beach. And Tweed United 6-2 over Runaway Bay. Looking at the ladder, Talabudra have a 5-point lead now over Tweed United and Legends, with Mudgebar another 5 points back. Looking at this weekend's fixtures, Talabudra are hosting Pacific Pines, Mudgebar against Runaway Bay, Palm Beach against Musgrave, Tambourine Mountain host Ormo, and Nerang take on Legends, with Tweed United having the ball. Any of those games you want to talk about there, Mark?
Look, the only game that I think the home team aren't favoured and won't win is the Tambourine game. Tough still to go up to Tambourine. I think Kirk made the trip last night.
No, I didn't, mate. I stayed home to watch New South Wales destroy Queensland. So, yeah.
It would have been cold out in Tambourine last time.
It was -8, the boys said. So, they put 10 past them, so that was happy.
But
you must touch on the Metro too, mate. I'll touch on the Metro Leagues after you finish with the Coast League.
But, I mean, Nerang Legends is going to be a good game. Funny enough, we'll be at Nerang because of the Premier League game. So I will cast a casual eye on the second field there to see my Legends go at it. But Nerang, again, have been hitting good form. Again, a team that 1 week they play really well, get the result. Next week they slip. So that's what happens when you're a young team. But, I can see them still beating Legends in that game. Especially, I've seen Legends top striker, one of their leading goal scorers, also out through suspension, I believe. So that could also have played its part. But Tally will keep rolling on now. I think they've got too much momentum, too much firepower. They could still lose to Tweed. That game's coming up soon. At Tally, that could be a little blimp, but I think the rest of the way, I can't see them dropping any more points.
Legends have been in touch, Mark. If you're going to be at the same ground as them on the weekend, they want their shirt back.
Yeah.
They need to break their curse.
To be fair, they did send me, they only had a large, and their large is a Chinese large, which is like a medium. It's like a boob tube on me, and I couldn't even wear it. So the President Anthony Farr did his best, but it was a bit too tight. I don't think that the general public would like to see a little beached whale. So let's leave it at that. Nice cap, though.
Getting the merch. Good stuff. All right, that's our show for today. But however, before we go, I just want to touch on a topic. I hope I've got this right, but with the restructure with the new competitions, Kirk, if you do go on to win the league this season, do you go into playoffs to go into Capital League? FQPL 2.
No, so we're getting, if whoever wins the league will get invited up to QPL 2 if we meet the criteria, and if we accept that, so you're invited up. I think 2 teams from the Gold Coast can get invited up, or we stay on the QPL 3, which is the Gold Coast region of the pyramid. So yeah, right. Interesting times ahead. Until we know from Football Gold Coast, Football Queensland, we sort of at a standstill on what we can and can't do. We have got ideas in the background, and we are certainly working with a lot of ideas on what we should do. But yeah, until we get clarification from the powers that be, we're sort of, I think all clubs in Queensland are sort of stagnant in that aspect. But I think the whole idea is clubs to get promoted up to QPL 2 and beyond. There is talk that QPL 1 might be an offer too somewhere, but I wouldn't have thought that would have happened so early. But yeah, the QPL 2 option is definitely an option that we're looking at.
So, and that's something that you'd be open to as well.
Say that again, sorry?
That's a concept that you'd be open to doing, to playing in the FQPL next season.
It is. It's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. Without sounding rude to the QPL 2, sorry, I think it's a downgrade in the level of league compared to the Gold Coast Premier League currently. That's not saying in general in years to come it won't be, because obviously the calibre team's going up and the calibre team's coming down, like the Sunshine Coast Fire, I think they're sitting last at the moment. So, but currently, if we were playing in it now, we'll probably just be as, probably up top as well. I'd expect to be up top, So, yeah, but it's an option going forward. And then obviously, how far can we go up the pyramid?
Well, I think you've shown already, just with your cup run, that you could easily match it in the FQPL, and maybe you'd be struggling to survive in the NPL. Should you
struggling to survive?
Yeah. Well, if asking my NPL club. Sorry, team. We're a top 5 NPL team.
Imagine an NPL budget with NPL kids, and what would happen? I personally think this whole thing is a load of crock. And I think going to FQPL 2 would be going backwards. It'd be going a backwards step because of the quality of the league. So what should actually, to be honest, if you really want to talk fact and really want to say what the truth be truth, what should have happened is they should have waited the last year of the FQPL and NPL licenses to expire and then reissue the licenses based on merit on who should be going where. Not after one league try to put everyone in these situations where they're going to have to play, no disrespect, a Sanford Rangers, Coomera, etc., who can't score a goal when you're leaving the likes of a Palm Beach, maybe, a Narang, etc. here. The system is broken to the absolute maximum. So until one club comes around in Gold Coast, in Brisbane and whatever, and does it the right way and makes it affordable for kids and makes it sustainable, then we can talk about NPL. But the rest, waste of time, if you ask me. Sorry to interrupt, but I just think if you tell me that they can't surface Narang, Palm Beach, they can't compete Redlands, Capalaba, Brisbane Strikers, we should shut our league now. Shut our league down now, right now, especially with the resources that they have. Rant over.
Touched on some good points there, Marky. Very good points, You want
to follow up on that, Kirk?
I'm just waiting to see what other clubs want to do. I mean, we've been to plenty of meetings. Everyone's keeping themselves to themselves to a certain degree, but I agree with Mark. The whole thing smells a bit fishy, if you ask me. So, it's, yeah, I won't say too much more, but yeah, it's an interesting concept moving forward, what you do and what you don't.
It's just your sushi, Kirk. It's just your sushi.
It's smoked salmon.
Hurry up, I'm starving. Before you do go, we've got to touch on the Metro. So I'll talk on a personal note here. Obviously, the Metro League is the Division 3
Wednesday night competition.
It's an old boys league. But yeah, no. During the week, obviously, the Surfers White team's I think 6 points clear, maybe 8 points clear after last night. That's when I play in. Luckily, I'll get 10 minutes here and there in. But one of the big things we had on Monday in the catch-up game, we had Jason Cleaner took the part. So obviously an ex-Socceroos, good for the Gold Coast League in that. Still got it. You know, still got it. He just come back from Sydney after being down there for business. So, yeah, no, I think it was good for the Gold Coast to have an ex-Socceroo running around. Obviously great for our club. So, yeah, if you're out and about, get down there to watch Surfers Blue and you might be able to see a bit of class. And then Surfers White to see a bit of class for myself. So, yeah.
So he's playing every week, is he?
I don't know if his old lease can go every week. They didn't play last night, but that was a backup from Monday to Wednesday. That's quite hard. But, yeah, he's back now on the coast. So we'll certainly see if he can back up every week.
And Surfers have probably had the two most famous players to ever kit up on the Gold Coast play for their club in Lyndon Dykes and Jason Kalina. So credit to Lyndon, who's about to kick off the Euros and play against Czech Republic, England and Croatia in the group stage at the highest level without ever having to put on a shirt in NPL. Oh, I wonder how that happened. But anyway, beautiful.
I've got that song ready, Mark. He's one of our own. Lyndon Dykes is one of our own. Yeah?
Fantastic. We might leave it there, guys. So Kirk Brebner and Mark Marge dropping bombs all over the place. Great to have you guys on board.
My blood pressure goes up when I come on this show. My blood pressure goes up.
Mark. There you go.
All right. This has been the Village Law SEQFC preview show. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.